What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Conversation Station. Usually I like to do, movie reviews, comic book episodes. I have a few episodes, talking about life and stuff. But I really started this channel to, start conversations about things that I find interesting and annoying, and just everything in between. So this is going to be a video where I just kind of talk about something that's been just kind of bugging me. It's not really a big deal, not really something that has super crazy hold or effect in my life. It's just one of those little itches in the brain that just would feel good to, let it out, especially because, you never know who might see it, and if the person that I'm actually talking about sees it, then, and they have any comments like how I don't know what I'm talking about or how I'm an idiot, just, go ahead and leave it, and I would love to have a real conversation. But the person I'm going to be talking about is Elon Musk. Now, I know everybody has split opinions on him. He's the guy building rockets to go to Mars. He's the guy that recently became best friends with Trump and decided he was going to break up with him in this weird way. And now because, Trump is obviously the person that he is, and all politicians are, and Elon somehow was smart enough to see it, it's now crumbling in his face. And he's complaining and telling average, everyday people that they need to call their senators, call their congressmen, waste their time, literally the only resource most of us have. Rent just got raised twice in 3 months. What is me calling Congress and sitting on hold for 4 hours gonna do for me? These politicians do not care about us. You're a billionaire. You're supposedly a genius, and you can't figure this out? This entire country and entire world is like some kind of weird system that we are just caught up in. It's not something that's meant to be fixed. It's not something that's meant to be adjusted in any way. I think any plans you see or anything new you see enacted, we don't see it happen. Things are going up, rent's going up, the wages go up, but it just stays in line with everything else, just like we already knew it would. And now he's saying that we're, with the way the deficit's going, our future generations are going to be in financial slavery. Honestly, most of us think that this president is going to lead us into World War III. There won't be future generations. I'm pretty sure there's a decent amount of us that think that this president's just going to nuke it by the end because he doesn't want to give it up. And there's a good possibility that that happens. Now, do I hope that happens? Heck no. That sucks. That would be worst case scenario. But truth be told, I don't trust any politician ever. Politics are a joke. It's gross. It's disgusting. Everything you see about it just makes you more and more angry. And you could say that's just from a lack of, you don't have an understanding of it. Even when we do understand it, even when it's literally written to us in crayon like a 5-year-old and it's spelled out, it spells out, you're getting fucked every time. And we have to read it. So my point is stop trying to tell people what to do. Stop trying to tell the average American how you think that their future will be affected. They don't even know where their next week is going to be. If it's going to be the same rent, if they're going to make the same wage. So if their car is still going to be running. These are real world problems. You don't have any of those. You have political problems. You have problems with powerful people. Most of the people on here that you're speaking to have no idea what that's like. And I just want you to understand that. We do not know what you're saying. There's a big part of the time where people are just kind of being yes men under your comments, and you think that they're agreeing with you. When, again, I know I don't have any idea what you're talking about, because for being a really smart person, it sounds really dumb to trust politicians. You don't know history? Look at history. Some politicians have done a few good Look at the whole of history. All of it. Just take a look. How bad is it? How many scandals? How many really bad scandals? It doesn't matter. All politics up to the president. It's disgusting. It's gross. Most of them are pedophiles and drug addicts, and that's just a fact. That's not some kind of weird conspiracy theory. They do the debauchery just like everybody down here. They just try to act like they don't. And they just pay more for it and pay more to keep it secret. It's not an issue. It doesn't matter because it doesn't affect everyday people. We get up every day, get our kids on the bus, try to go to work if our car starts, And I get it. Elon, he worked his way up. He worked on a farm and, he had, he had a college or a dorm in college that he rented out for parties or some stuff. To me, I don't know. Again, that's really cool hustle and a great story. I'm not like trying to take away from that, but I'm saying that doesn't translate into him having super real world experience and understanding what the everyday person truly goes through. And I just don't think he does anymore. Maybe he did at a certain point, but I just think it's been so long with billions of dollars, there's no way you get so detached. Because he's out here also telling people, oh, have as many kids as you want. You know who else said that? Peter Griffin, when he was joking to crack addicts, saying, oh, have as many kids as you like. Because you know what? One of those kids maybe grow up and get in Hollywood. Then who's paying the bills, huh? Hollywood kid. Like, that's what that sounded like to me. Why would you tell everyday people to have as many children as they could? Especially at the chance that you actually might convince somebody to do it on this level. I don't know, that just shouldn't be on your mind to tell other people. Like, for as smart as everybody says you are, it should not be on your mind to tell other people to have lots of children. It's really awesome that he's doing the space travel thing, but I also think the reason that he tells people to have a lot of children, and this is just a huge, like, this is just guess, shot in the dark, this is just wild theory. This is a conspiracy theory, just saying it. But the point is I think he's telling you to have more children because by the time we get the rockets ready and ready to head out into space, you know what we're going to need? Bodies. We're going to need people because we still don't know all the ways that space is going to affect people. So it's going to be a trial and error, just like every explorer before. We're going to send as many people as we can into space once we're able to, and a lot of them aren't going to make it, or they're not going to make it back, or whatever. And I think he's trying to prepare for that because he wants this, he wants the human race to go multiplanetary. And I think that's, when it comes to being logical, I think that's just the most logical. You will need a lot of people, more people than we have right now, to get past the problem of space, to truly try to figure out as many problems as we can so we can combat them and actually move forward with space travel. Again, that's just a theory. Whether or not that's true, whether or not he just, it's insane, because at the end of the day, we all know that power only lies in two things, and that's money. That's the first. You could say knowledge is the first, but money is always going to be our ultimate. Money is always going to rule over everything. And my kids ask me like, oh, why can't everybody just share? Why can't everybody just be kind? And, why can't everybody just have what they need? And I love that about them, that childlike idea of everybody, but we all know why that doesn't work. We all know. We pretend not to. We pretend not to understand why we can't all sit in a circle and sing Kumbaya, but we know why. There's just people out there that won't do it. There's people out there that won't ever subscribe to the idea of giving, the idea of not having to take to give. There's just some people like that. They're ruthless. And not in a bad way or a good way, they just are ruthless. I don't know. This life in this world is definitely weird. And, you got to pick the people that you listen to. And I think it's the coolest thing I think about Elon Musk is the fact that he bought Twitter, and I can post this video to Twitter, and I'm pretty sure he won't mute it or take it down. If he does, honestly, he's just not the biggest fan of free speech as I thought he was. And for that, I would just say you can go fuck yourself if that's the option that you turn to. But like I said, the fact that I can post this on Twitter and he owns Twitter, and that's kind of, not bad mouthing him, but I'm just trying to get my opinion out there. It's, it's different. I think that's the only thing that I respect about him, because you can pretty much say whatever you want to say on this app. You can criticize however you want to criticize as long as you're not threatening people or, making threats against people and people's safety and stuff like that. But you can say whatever you want, as far as who's a jackass, who do you hate, who you don't like, and I just think that's really cool. This platform is definitely the freest in that sense, which is a bad thing sometimes, but it's, it can be good if people use it correctly. I don't know. Like I said, I hope this doesn't seem unhinged or weird or anything like that. I just really would like to start a conversation of why billionaires and people in power do this thing where they speak for the people. And it's you don't have any idea. You have no idea. You could come sit at my dinner table and spend a week with me and you still wouldn't get it. Or maybe I'm wrong, Maybe there's some other factor that I'm missing and, I'm just talking out of my ass, which I'm not going to say that that's not a possibility. But, with just the way that things are going, like I said, the main problem I have is Elon, with as smart as you are, You're trusting politicians. Like, you're smart enough to read history books and see patterns like that. It doesn't work. Like, you're not going to save this country. It's just, and again, I don't say that as like a negative, like, you can't do it. It's not what's wanted, not by the people, but it's not what's wanted for the powers that be, otherwise it would have changed already. We would have seen those changes implemented a long time ago. With all the money people pay to taxes, with the amount of money that the government has off the people, it would have been fixed a long time ago. So just want to tell you, like, whatever they're telling you their plan is, it's not that. And any politician trying to be your friend is either after your money, your influence, or trying to get close to the president. I'm only guessing. Because, I don't know. I just can't imagine you have too many, like, real, genuine people around you anymore. But I don't even think you want them, because I don't think it matters. So that's another reason why it annoys me when you try to act like you're one of the people. Like, you're not. You're a different person. You're a billionaire. One of the extremely smart people on Earth. You're building rockets. You're helping build rockets. I don't know. And again, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be happy about that. I'm not saying we shouldn't cheer because cool stuff is happening. That is cool. But, I don't know. There's a dark side to everything. A downside to everything. And, I don't know. I guess it's just a stark reminder that, like, people really are wrapped up in their own lives. Me included, And it just gets weird. Insane, But, as far as asking people to, call in and waste their time, which to me that's the only asset that we have that's worth anything is our time. That's why the workplaces want it. That's why our families want it. It's the only thing we have. That's just, it's differences. Differences that will always be. No, I know. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to get better stuff. More stuff. That's not the issue. My point is the lack of understanding. You don't understand where people are coming from. So please don't ask people to waste their time and call government agencies or any government officials. It's not worth it. To me, it's not okay. Yeah. I apologize if you felt this wasted any of your time, but I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you again.